the coolest dog training channel right here on YouTube. I'm Tom Davis, America's Canine Educator.
You know, he might be right. I don't know. Might be the coolest. I know mine's too small to be the coolest. But I got a better mustache. This guy, Tom Davis, great freaking dog trainer right here. Absolutely fantastic. If you haven't checked him out, check him out. We're going to jump into the video. I haven't seen it yet.
Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be introducing our newest board and train to other dogs. This is probably one of the most aggressive dogs that I work with here at the facility as far as dog reactivity goes and dog aggression. Now this dog is really aggressive towards other dogs. It's not reactivity, it's not just bark. This dog does not like other dogs, period. So I snuck in my van really quick just to get you guys out of the wind, but today I'm going to be demonstrating how to progressionally introduce a truly dog aggressive dog. Morgan, one of my other trainers, and I are going to use the entire parking lot to do this. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to work. But this is going to be the first time he's going to be around another dog since he's been here. If you haven't watched the first episode yet, click this link above and you can watch the first episode of Introduction to Leash Pressure, why this dog is the way he is, etc. So today, I'm going to hopefully show you guys how to properly introduce slowly and safely and effectively another dog to a dog that is severely, truly dog aggressive. So what you're going to watch me do first is just show you guys what we've done with the dog. Literally, it's been leash work, so heel, sit, heel, sit, heel, sit. You have to follow me on the leash. You have to follow me on the leash. Getting corrections, getting pressure if he doesn't comply, which he's never had before. So I'm going to show you that.
So what he's talking about and going over right now is so important. When you have a reactive dog, they need to respond to your leash pressure, your leash control, verbal corrections even better, but they need to respond to you and understand that you control the walk. You're going to protect them on the walk. It's just one of those things. You don't want them to feel like they need to take control over the situation. You don't want them to feel like they need to get in front of you and protect you. And if you have them on that good, loose leash walking calmly next to you, and that they understand that their job is to watch you to where you're going, what are we doing, you're going to have a lot better time of redirecting their energy when they do start to get aggressive or reactive towards the dog. So it's very important to get that stability down in your walks so that the dog respects your leash and respects your commands. It's simple.
First to show you exactly where he's at, and then I'm going to show you the wide angle shot of the parking lot and the introduction to hopefully the other dog. Here we go. Oh,
glad he brought us out of the wind.
Consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video.
Do it for both of us. So right there, I really like it. So he's walking and you can see the dog starts to get focused on something out in the distance. So what he does is he gives him a command. He gets his attention with something, with the sit. And since the dog sat, he didn't have to give him any nose or anything like that. The dog sat and he marked it. Here you go. Here's a treat. Perfect. This is what I wanted. And he went back to walking it. Basic but important leash pressure. So I'm going to slow it down because it looks like he's got it going faster, and I don't want to double it up. Nice and loud.
That's what we've been doing so far. Is just really having him engaged on the leash, making sure he's paying attention to us and nothing else going on. So he's passing the test so far, so it's going to...
See, like him looking around, that's totally fine, because he's not hyper-focused on anything. He's just kind of checking things out. What's going on over there. He's not being focused.
According to plan, leash pressure, introducing the foundational, what no means, what yes means, what good, what bad means. None of the preliminary stuff he had before. So now, the true test.
And those things are so important with a reactive dog.
Introducing him or getting him around another dog in general, which is the first time we've done it since we've had him all week. Come here, Meow. Come here, buddy.
Got loud all of a sudden. So right there, what he was doing was a little bit different than one of the videos I did previously, the guy's training method. So he was using positive reinforcement, which is so powerful when you use it properly. What he was doing was he was keeping the dog at a good distance from the other dog where he wasn't becoming reactive. He was looking at the dog, looking back at Tom. Oh, hey, treat. You know, looking at the dog, looking back at Tom. Oh, treat. You know, now he's starting to associate Tom's food, his treats, his rewards with this dog. Like, man, if I look at that dog and I don't do anything and I look back at Tom, he gives me a treat. And over time, they just associate dogs with treats, with good things. See, and that's really severe also because they're so close. They're in such that combined area where he can't, I mean, they can only get so far away in a room like that, whereas in the parking lot, they have a lot more distance, and of course, he hasn't worked with them yet in this little clip.
So this is where
See, and that was bad. That was extreme. The dog is trying to go at this dog. You've got someone correcting him on the leash, and he wasn't even doing it poorly. It was a good corrections on the leash. And the dog was just like, man, I want to get at that dog. You're stopping me. My frustration, I'm going to take it out on you. That's dangerous. You get bit like that. And that's why you saw him lifting his hand high. And that he was keeping the leash, he was using the leash to keep the dog from coming at him. Very, very serious right there.
It's really interesting. We are nowhere, shape, or form out of the woods. However, nowhere, shape, or form out of the woods.
All right, so see how he just did that? I did a small little rewind for you. Oh, yeah, it looks like my face is actually blocking it here. All right, so hopefully you guys can see it this time. I'm gonna do a little rewind.
Perform out of the woods. However, this is
I didn't do it enough.
We are no.
I went back for you guys.
Really
Sorry about that.
We are nowhere, shape.
All right, see right there. So he's using his foot to communicate with them. Some people feel like you're kicking the dog when you do that. That's not true. You know, your energy tells it all. He barely touched the dog right there. What he was doing was he wasn't bending down and touching the dog. I do this all the time. I have so many dogs. At times I get tired of bending down and squatting. And it's easier if I teach them to respect my legs. I'm not hurting them with my legs. And if you kick your dog, then you're doing it wrong. He's not doing that. He's touching his dog, and he's just using his foot. And it works.
Perform out of the woods.
Dog's
However,
like, oh.
This is a dog that didn't know wrong from right, yes and no, and had zero foundation. And as you see the video I just put in here, he was so reactive. This guy could not even be in the same room with another dog without exploding on everything, including me. So watch the subtleties I provide. I think if anything you're going to get out of this video, you're going to watch the progression that we make to.
See, when he's talking about that subtlety, he's getting that eye contact. He's getting the dog, focus on me, and I give you this treat. Focus on me, I'll give you this treat. Ignore the dog, enjoy the treat.
Together. He gives, I give, he takes, I take, he puts pressure, I put pressure. You want to watch.
And that's those negative corrections, positive corrections. You know, taking away something the dog enjoys is a correction.
My body and everything that I'm doing with my food delivery, where I put my feet, where I put my shoulders, where I put my legs, when I'm breaking him, when I'm not breaking him, etc. Notice how clear and precise my communication is with Merrill during this time. I'm being very vocal. I'm telling him what he can and can't do. But more importantly, I'm giving him pressure or discipline when he doesn't comply. I personally think.
Now, I like how he said it like that, discipline, because it's not really a punishment. Don't think of it as a punishment. You know, just like a child, you have to discipline them sometimes. As an adult, you have to discipline yourself to get up in the morning, to go mow your lawn. You know, discipline is important. And making the dog understand that he has to do something, and if he doesn't do that thing you're asking, you're going to either take something away he likes, you're going to give him some kind of correction he doesn't necessarily care for. It's pretty simple. It's just, hey, you give like he said, I'm going to give you. You take, I'm going to take something away from you. You know, you're communicating with the dog.
That's the single most contributing factor to this dog's continual aggression is because he had absolutely no consequence for his actions thus far.
Now, I'm going to stop it on there. That is so many people's problem that I meet. Like, so many of my clients, him included, this beast. He was human reactive to new people, and food aggressive. You could not take his food away. Couldn't even come near him without him growling and protecting on his food. And he even charged his own family. His family that raised him since he was a freaking puppy. But he didn't care. No, he's an animal. He has instincts. He's learned over the years with these owners that, hey, I can do whatever I want. If I show you some kind of aggression, you're going to back down. You're going to give me what I want. I'm the boss of this house, and I do what I please when I please. And that just gets worse and worse, especially when you have such a powerful breed like him, like this dog. You can't do that. You've got to give them a structure. When they do something wrong, mark that behavior with a cue, letting them know they cannot do that. You've got to stop what you're doing. And then when they give you something you do like, mark that and give them a treat. Start giving them that positive reinforcement. So that way they learn, oh, this, I can't do that, or he does this. If I do that instead, he'll give me this. Oh, it's so simple. The dog learns it so fast. And it is so easy to do. It just takes a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of consistency. So see, like right there, he's gradually getting the dog closer. The dog got some attention on the other dog, and he decided, oh, screw the treats. You know, he's used to doing this for who knows how long, and he went to go to attack, and boom, just like that, Tom gave a small little tug, a little leash pressure, letting the dog know. If the dog's rushing really powerfully, you don't even have to pull that hard because the dog's doing it. Most of the work, they're going to put a lot of pressure on themselves when they do it. The key is, once you've done that pull, you need to release the tension. Most people that I work with, they don't know when to pull that tension away. They either get scared, and so then they lock up, and then they cause tension throughout the whole leash, and the dog doesn't understand why you're pulling on me. And now suddenly it's not a correction for going after the dog. Now you're just giving them a correction continuously. They don't understand why, and they maybe get more frustrated and take that out either on that dog, trying to go at that dog harder, or they turn around on you because you're giving them pressure constantly through the leash. You need a quick little pull, stop that, and then release the tension. If they go back at the dog again right afterwards, that's okay. Another pull, and then release. And if they do that again, sometimes they do it 10 times. Just keep doing that little pull each time, stepping back a little bit more, until the dog stops what he's doing and you get him back in that comfortable zone, get that attention again, mark that behavior with a treat, and then start walking forward towards that dog again.
So the training done prior to this dog was doing zero punishment, zero corrections, zero structure with this dog. Now that's a really good course of ingredients to really set a dog up for failure, especially with...
So I like that. So the dog, for looking at him, he kind of glances at the dog laying down, he looks around a little bit, he looks at the dog again, but he's not hyper-focused anymore. And that's why Tom doesn't give him any correction. He's letting him figure out what he can and can't do. And if he's not doing anything wrong, don't give him that correction. He didn't start to focus on the dog, so he's good.
With aggression issues.
So I'd also you can see in this video already, he's decreasing the amount of times he has to give him a treat too, which is a good thing to do. A lot of people treat too often. start taking those treats away once the dog starts figuring out what you're asking and they're doing it without the treat every time. That way you can teach them that you don't need to do a treat every time. So you might not have heard it. That's why he probably put those caps right there. But he had to get loud. And he said no loudly to make sure the dog understood what he was saying was a correction. Don't do that. And he just goes right back into positive reinforcement. The dog looked, ooh, right there, he gave a correction. He releases his chin, but the dog is still hyper focused. The dog is just staring at it. The closer he gets, the harder it is, and it's true. Harder for him to just figure out, hey, I normally go after these dogs. I'm getting closer to it. I want to go get it. So I practice this a lot. So making them put their back to the other dog makes them ignore them. It makes it where they have to be, accepting that there's a dog behind me. This works really good for dogs that bark a lot. It's just a really good way to do it, frankly. I mean, redirect your dog. Get your dog to do something else. If what you're doing constantly isn't really working, switch it up a little bit, practice something else, and maybe go back to what you were trying earlier a little bit later.
Nobody has ever corrected or punished this dog when he did something wrong, which, as you can imagine, in human psychology, how much that plays a role when you're trying to teach something wrong from right. I'm very happy with Meryl's progression. If this video is helping you or you enjoy this video, don't forget to like and leave a comment below.
Good boy. No, leave it. Just gotta leave it.
So right there, he's telling him no and to leave it because the dog is getting really anxious. He's starting to whimper out of frustration. He wants to go forward. He's just like, oh, that dog is right there. He's not showing that aggression yet, but that's going to escalate. And if you don't correct it right there, it's going to go from that level of 1, that whining, it's going to jump to that 10, and he's going to start lunging again. So he corrects it right away.
Sean, lead it. Focus. Better. Yeah. Meryl, cut. Yeah.
That's good. So now he's just redirecting him, giving him something positive.
So that, in a nutshell, is the progression that we did in a week. And again, this is a really aggressive dog, meaning not like super aggressive, but just the dog is actually aggressive. He's not reactive. Again, like I said before.
100%. That dog wants to hurt the other dog. Another good way to get them to bond is to make them walk together. And you can do this by having another person walk the dog. Like he was doing in the video, you're going to want to start in a farther distance, like in that parking lot, having one person walk way over here, and then just kind of slowly get closer. If you're trying to actually have one person walk the dogs at the same time, that dog better be freaking muzzled. You better tire that dog out a lot before you do it, because that dog is ready to go, rearing to go, and something during the walk could trigger just like that, and the dog is going to just react to the other dog. Say you get the dog walking next to each other well, and then they see a third dog, a dog this one hasn't gotten comfortable yet, and then he starts to get reactive with that dog over there, gets frustrated, he's getting corrected. Oh, what do? He sees this dog he just met, barely became friends with. He's sitting over here to the left of me on the other side of this guy. You know what? I'm going to attack that dog. Let that frustration out. So you got to be really careful with a dog like that. It's a very good video, though.
So really good progression in a week.
Great
Very happy with the
progression.
staff here that's been working with him tirelessly. Thank you for his owners for trusting us with him. He was pretty bad, and that was great progression in a week. So thank you guys so very much for
So I
watching
think
this
this
video.
one's
If you haven't yet,
done.
consider
I
subscribing
like
to my
it.
channel and support me.
Do
and
it.
what I'm doing
Support
with the dogs.
him.
And, of course,
Support
leave a
me,
like
guys.
on this video, leave a comment below, and let's talk about what you thought about it.
We're out here. Leave a comment just like he said. Let us both know. Get on his page, too. Check out his videos. He's been doing this for a good while. I definitely haven't made enough videos, so he's got a lot of videos you guys can learn from. Check them out and subscribe. See you guys next time.